All right, it's time for the bag of six. I said on my Facebook page that I had to postpone Brad Pitt because I have the Facebook power couple in the house.
Book, 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 book.
You might
Glad to be
recognize
here.
them from their 72 picture anniversary shots or their
Was there
vacation
only
exploits.
72? Because I was going for the limit. If there was 72, then I'm lacking. I need to do a better job next
Exactly.
time.
Bring it triple digits or don't bring it, man.
You know what I'm saying? I think I can get it though. I really think I
I
can
know
get it.
you can. I have the Miltons with me today, Shamako and Marissa, and we're going to be talking about, of course, the top six legendary, iconic power couples of fictional variety. So there's going to be no Jay and Queen Bee today.
No,
No,
no Michelle and Barack.
no. It was going to be tough. Actually, when we were discussing versus text, I was like, I don't know if we can go real ones because there's going to be too much overlap over here because I'm going to feel
It
real
definitely
bad
is. Because I think like
leaving
the
off.
top 10 is definitely the top 10. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
yeah, that would have been a
Yeah.
problem.
So you guys collaborated, brainstorming. That's part of the reason why I do this. Everybody's got, again, this is a politically free zone, COVID free zone, all that kind of stuff. But I was talking to my wife earlier this week, like this gives me a chance at night to think about other things. Like it gets me out of that zone. Now at night, I'm like, man, like, no, I don't think the Seavers were really that great. Like, I don't think he was cool, but what did he really do?
Right.
That's where my headspace is at night now. So, that's why I'm doing this. So I appreciate you guys joining me today.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Thank
having
you.
us, homie.
And man, I can see you guys behind you guys. Like I'm seeing the
No,
picture.
hold on. No, first of all, we're not that damn vain. That right there, well, I guess we are.
Yeah,
That right there is me and Maddie at the wedding. Remember that? That's
I
the
remember that.
father-daughter dance. And then the one over here, over the other way. What that way? I can't get it.
Hmm.
There it is. That's Kayla, and that is my wife, Miss Marissa, at the wedding.
Yes,
So we do have a representation of the kids throughout the house, also.
absolutely, absolutely. And as always, I try to bring on guests and like put them in their element. So not only are you guys, again, the Facebook power couple, but with your children grown, you have a lot more free time to watch more things than I do. I have to like stick and move, pick and choose. Like I'm cutting shows quicker than I used to. I used to almost hate watch things like, oh man, I'll see how Prison Break ends. Why not?
Dude, our DVR is ridiculous right now.
Hmm.
It's seriously at like overload. So our normal routine is like work, gym, couch. The rest of the night we're on the couch getting all the DVR shit out the way.
That's kind of the opposite of the Jersey Shore, but I can dig
Right.
it. It's not gym tan laundry, it's work,
Well, I
gym
already got
couch.
the tan popping, you know what I'm saying, with the melanin, so I'm good on that. But yeah, we try to get our movie watching in, our TV show watching in, and I think we do a pretty damn good job of it.
I believe you, man. And your collaboration is 2 versus 1 here, so I'm at a loss. Now, we were talking before we were recording. I will say that most of mine are TV shows because I feel like a true couple, to learn more about them, their nuance and things of that nature, you get like seasons worth of like 30 or 60 minutes at a time.
Mhm.
Whereas movies, it's just kind of like, that was a cute story, but
Right.
we all know they're done 3 months from now,
It
right?
did not live happily ever after.
Right. But I do have a couple that a couple of movies that were established enough and biopics and things of that nature. Well,
Mhm.
not biopics because that'd be real people, but that established their timeline. And I got a bunch. So I'm still even weeding it down as we go. So if we overlap, you might be helping me out.
Bad.
But as my guest, as always, you go first with your number six
All
iconic
right.
legendary power couple.
So the list that we have, like I told you earlier, is pretty much it's a combined effort and it's eclectic. So you'll probably be able to tell which one's my wifey's and which one is mine. This one for me is a cult classic, and this is like one of my picks, and it's Save the Last Dance.
Okay, so we got Julia Stiles.
Yeah, and
Hold
Sean
on.
Patrick Thomas.
We're about to get Zoom bombed. Hold on.
What's up, nephew?
Hey.
What's up,
Hey,
buddy?
cousin Miltons.
Hey, what's happening?
How's it going?
I'm doing great.
You been doing all right?
Yeah. When did I put 2 tattoos on my arm?
Look. You got some catching up to do. I got a couple myself.
Oh,
He did too, just like Uncle Mako, but we're working our way up to the sleeve. You need something?
There you go. Get the whole back tat.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Enjoy your show.
I will. I'm
Careful.
watching TV right now.
Gotta love the kids.
All right. Hey, Christian, can you close the door, please? Thank you. All right. So number 6 is this. Which one is this? Who's choosing this one?
This will be more of mine.
Okay.
Okay. You got interracial dating. Okay.
Yeah. Save the last dance. I'm with you.
Yeah.
The iconic on the stairs scene where they're
Doing the bob back and forth. So you got that, and so you got Sean Patrick Thomas's character Derek lives in Chicago. Okay.
Mhm.
You know, he's caught in between actually applying to college and living that street life. Okay. So his homeboy Malachi, and I think Malachi was what, Sticky Fingers from Onyx?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
100%.
Malachi's a little asshole and he can't get right and the streets deep. And he wanted his homeboy Derek, you know what I'm saying, to be his right-hand man, you know what I'm saying, putting that work in. But Derek's family wants him, you know, to obviously go to college, do those things or whatever else. Julia Stiles comes in, and Sarah comes in, and she had actually lived in the burbs, and her mom got in that car accident, remember?
Yeah.
Passed away, so she had to move with her dad, and I think he was like a musician or whatever he was, and he actually lived in the hood himself. So for the first time, she leaves private school, she goes to public school, and that's when her and Derek meet. And he's trying to get her to, you know, get back into ballet because that was her big thing because she wanted to get into Juilliard. And she's trying to keep him on the straight and narrow so he can get to college. And that's pretty much the gist of the movie. But the reason why I picked it was because it was so many contrasting, you know, backgrounds with these two that it kind of made for a good story.
Yeah, man, it's a classic, you know, wrong side of the track story, you know, like two different worlds coming together, each raising each other up, you know, like you know, we grew up in that era. I mean, it was one of those movies in the 90s that we all watched about 6,000 times. And we weren't even sure why, but it was a great story, man. Like,
great love story. That's what we were watching.
It is. It really is. It really is, man. Like I said, we were both kind of bobbing and weaving when you said
that was the dance.
That was the scene.
Cafeteria by themselves, and he was trying to get her to do the hip hop dance to go to the club and go out. That was my favorite scene.
It was literally when they both got to get, like, when they both were on the same rhythm is when they got together.
Right. And then leaning over in the chair, and she's got the scowl on the mean mug.
Yeah.
Getting like that.
And the big sneakers. She had big sneakers, man.
It was like some Skechers shape-ups or some shit like that. You know, the big ass foam sole on them.
Yes.
That's what she had on. She was worried about her feet, definitely.
They were borderline Ewings, man. All right. So, speaking of, and I'm gonna give this one a shout out to my wife since you guys are collaborating. She was kind of brainstorming with me as well, and this was the one she put on the list. I had like already 10 or 12 on my list, and then she wrote down one with a heart next to it, and I was like,
oh, vetoed is what happened.
I should have thought of that one myself. But if we're talking about two polar opposites coming together, I'm gonna take it to the animated field, and I'm gonna bring together The Lady and the Tramp.
Love it.
The iconic
spaghetti scene too. They're eating the spaghetti.
I mean,
say that.
That's the game right there, man. Like, how many times has that been recreated in other shows, other movies, either, you know, joking about it or giving homage to it? But you got the scruffy guy and the dignified lady coming together and like,
different sides of the track, making it
they
work.
have puppies. So again, it's a movie, but I mean, you know, this is happening, man. They have puppies.
I mean, they having puppies. They did the do. You know what I'm saying? They got it.
it's a litter, man. Like they're in it now. It is, but I rewatched the movie that not that long ago, and it freaked me out, to be honest. Like when you're a kid, you don't realize, like, holy shit, they're in a kill shelter, man. Like,
Yeah, right.
It was dark.
It was kind of dark if you think about it.
I think I repressed a lot of the memories of the actual movie and storyline. I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be cute. Let's watch it, wife. Let's get together. It's a love story, and it is all that. But the background and the storylines that are going with it are thick, man. Disney didn't fuck around back in the day, man.
They were in the joint getting ready to hit the electric chair. What was going on?
Right. They killed your parents and they put dogs in kill shelters. Like Disney was not messing around.
Not fucking playing.
But yeah, The Lady and the Tramp, I mean, that kind of set the stage for like the movie you were speaking of just like two different worlds coming together and finding love and like making that connection, man. So yeah, Lady and the Tramp have to be there on number 6.
For the record, me and Marissa tried the spaghetti thing.
Yeah.
And we just ended up having to put a whole bunch of shit in the dry cleaner. So if you and Katie go for it, I wouldn't.
Harder than it looks.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. We had sauce all over the fucking place. I might have got some meat sauce in my eye. It was the whole thing. So don't try it.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
I'm not at all surprised by this, man. Of course you guys try that, man. Next time, don't use linguine, man. Like, keep it
the problem is you got to get a long enough piece so you can get like a head start on that shit and, get your momentum going. You got a little short, please, because you're trying to get it in, it just falls down on everywhere. So, we had to.
Did you nose the meatball over though?
I did not. I was feeling kind of fly that day, and I just got shaved up, so I didn't want to meatball with my nose and mess up my lineup. So
that might have been part of it, man. All right. Assessment number 6 knocked out of the way. Bring me to your number 5, sir and madam.
So this was kind of collaborative. We're going back to 1975.
Okay.
When hold on.
When you were in high school.
Where it started. And it has been in syndications for decades. So our number 5, you ready for it? The Jeffersons.
Yeah.
So think about it.
Yeah.
Talking about started from the bottom and now we're here.
Exactly.
He started his first dry cleaner in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, by the end of the day, at the end of the show, he had 27 dry cleaners.
You don't get to the east side with only 6, man. You need 27.
20, that's what, thank you. And they were living in a, in the deluxe apartment sky high. Like you can't do anything. So what I thought was interesting though about the show that does not get enough credit is that was like one of the first shows that was successful that had a Black couple in the forefront. That was one thing. Mm-hmm. The second thing was, do you remember
Tom
and Helen? Yeah. Interracial couple.
That was huge, man. That was like huge.
That's my point. And then, Helen was actually in real life Lenny Kravitz's mom.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, as far as, the backstory and everything that it had going on, I just don't think that the Jeffersons, got enough love back in the day. Not to mention, they dealt with a range of topics, and even Florence, remember Florence?
Of course, man.
Florence made the show first off.
Wait, wasn't Florence Lenny Kravitz's mom?
No, it was Helen.
Okay.
It was Helen. Helen. And, like I said, Florence definitely did not get enough love, but like it was the first time that I can remember that I actually saw like, like I said, a strong Black couple in the forefront, successful. Yeah, that was doing their own thing, doing it their way, and was just grinding it out. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely for me had to get some love sprinkled on it. You know what I'm saying? Like
they had a housekeeper in an apartment.
Exactly. And
that's
nobody
some shit right there. That's some baller shit right there.
And I know you walk like George, through your house most of the time when you're ready to get
okay if food. I give like the middle finger on the show, can we do that?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right.
It's not for kids, man.
Yeah.
I
got a stroke.
George, would Little Wayne be Wheezy without Wheezy?
No, Wheezy held it down. She ran the house.
That's what I'm saying. Would Lil Wayne be known as Wheezy if there wasn't
Oh,
already
yeah,
Wheezy?
Little Wayne.
I think he started it, man. Like, I mean, or she started it. Like,
Oh,
it wouldn't be cool to be Wheezy unless there was already a pretty
a
damn
cool
cool
ass
Wheezy.
Wheezy that came before him.
Right.
I got you. I got you. I'm dealing with that. I like that.
All right.
Yeah, but like I said, like when you hear about like groundbreaking shows, you just never hear the Jeffersons being brought up. And
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna bump mine up to 5 to kind of play off of this because I want to say the modern day version of the Jeffersons,
okay.
also a reference of a song, if you remember Flashing Lights by Kanye West.
Flashing lights. Yeah.
Is there Martin with no Gina? I'm
Oh,
talking.
you just bumped with ours.
Oh yeah, I did.
You just bumped with ours. Number 4.
Martin, Gina. Yeah, I'm talking Martin and Gina from Martin. I mean, everybody, Martin was like on the top of his game at this point in time. And he's bringing characters, from Snot-Nosed Kids. Even people like the Dunham Man were like a huge character in the show. But like the Martin and Gina relationship, Fox was big back then, kids. I don't know if you remember this, but
Fox was the network.
Right. Yeah, man. For like, you had The Simpsons, you had In Living Color, you had Martin, you had Married with Children. Like all these shows were huge, man. And like even I can remember like in high school talking about Martin. Like, I mean, it was a sitcom and we were kids at the time. But yeah. Martin Lawrence was huge. He was hosting Def Comedy Jam. Like, I mean, this was like a high elevated impact show. And I can literally recite you every single word of the movie House Party. So I was a big Tisha Campbell fan.
What was his name? Bilal?
Bilal. Sounds like something kept on your feet.
Yeah.
Don't bump the table. Don't bump the table.
Don't
Chill.
bump the table, man. Yeah.
Quit bumping my table.
That was
a dragon breath, I mean,
I remember that too.
Mm-hmm.
He had something going on in his mouth. That honestly was a good pick. And the funny thing was, when you said Martin, a lot of the time, like it left me thinking, like after the show was over, did Big Shirley and Cole ever actually work? Did they get, you know what I'm saying? Did they have kids? They live happily ever after. Did anybody ever find out what Tommy's real damn job was?
No.
And is Broad Man still on the 5th floor?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Did he buy in or what's going on? I want to know.
Crawling out the window, man. Like, all right.
Did Sinead ever find a thug to love her? That's what I want to know. These are the questions that didn't answer. So that was a great pick. I love that.
They need to circle back and do like a reunion or a movie or something. Like
I'm with that.
Everybody does. Breaking Bad did it. Like everybody needs to do like a resolution type movie, man. And I think we're long overdue for Martin, man. So I'm stealing it with my number 5.
Okay, so we're at
4.
So okay, I'll let wifey get this one. I think this is more in her wheelhouse, so I'll let her get that one.
Ghost, Demi Moore, and Patrick Swayze.
Okay.
Yep, Sam and Molly, and then Oda Mae.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi in there.
Well, technically, yeah, she is involved for a little bit there, and quite an interesting scene when Sam enters her, and I mean that sounds bad, but
that sounded real bad, bro.
Encapsulates her. I don't know, but like together, they have an intimate scene, and yeah, they're. I guess it is kind of a 3-way go.
She's like a medium, right? Psychic.
Yeah. But when they have their passionate kiss, it may be Sam's face that we're all seeing glowing at the time, but it's Whoopi.
He was like a Tupac hologram. Yeah, I remember that.
Right.
I remember that.
So even though Patrick was dead through the movie, they were still a good couple.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're talking iconic here. I mean, you have to be that kind of level to still throughout death. Like, I mean, he's on it, man. And of course, like the clay scene, man. Like that's well, I brought up Lady and the Tramp, man. Is there anything? How many times has the clay scene been repeated on shows? I mean, from Community to like I can remember, like
I think we need to do some clay because that was some sexy shit.
That was essential.
You know what I'm saying? Being there just holding each other, just molding the clay and shit. That's some good shit. I like that. I like that.
It looks a lot easier on TV, man. It's really not.
Yeah, I can do that shit. I believe in myself. I
Okay.
the bomb ass like ashtray or fucking flower like a vase.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
right. I might take up smoking again if you make an ashtray.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know who I'm gonna give it to, but that motherfucker's gonna be nice. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Put my initials at the bottom of it.
Exactly. Sam Wheat. What a name, man. Like I always thought of that at the time. Because he kept saying, like, say my name, Sam Wheat, Sam Wheat. That's just a weird name, man. But
it is.
Huh.
And if I remember correctly, it was his like partner or something.
oh, that scumbag that tried to make a move?
Yeah, the fucker, yeah. And he's the one that had Sam killed, right? And then he hired the other dirtbag. Well, he hired some dirtbag to actually, whack him or whatever.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And until G.I. Jane, like that haircut, not many people could pull off like the bowl cut.
Oh, Whoopi did have the Dumber and Dumber. I remember that, yeah.
And it worked, man. And people were doing it. Like, oh, I'm gonna get that Demi. Like, what? No, that only really works once. And for her, like, let's
that was not for everybody.
No, let's not recreate that. Thanks. Whew. All right, man. We're getting into the thick now. I got to start making some cuts. And what I'm going to do right now, since we're going iconic, I'm going with one of the biggest franchises in movie history.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Han Solo and Princess Leia from Star Wars, my man.
Okay.
When he's done for and she's like, I love you. And he's like, I know. Frozen, done. Like that might be the last time they ever see each other again, man. But like that
go out right there.
Baller line. And like they have that moment where it's like, I love you. I know. I'm about to get frozen for life now. See you later. Yeah, but we found out from the sequels later on, they had kids, they lived a long life, et cetera, et cetera. But they loved each other, man. And like it was one of those, that was like the one line, like you always wanted to have a connection with somebody that you could even say that and they wouldn't be like, what, man? Screw you, man. Like, what do you mean? Like, no, you know what I mean? Like it's from Star Wars. But either way, like
the bike moment right there.
Right. I know. And that was it, man. So yeah, Han and Leia, after we got past the creepiness of like Luke and Leia trying to be a thing, even though they're brother and sister, like we shuttle that part aside.
Yeah.
But yeah, the true love story lived on. Han and Leia, sadly, we had to see Han go through their own son, but we don't hold that against them. We are not our children, right?
No. And what was his name? The son. What was his name?
Well, he went by Kylo Ren. But yeah,
that kid was a dick.
Ben Solo, because he was named after Ben Kenobi, man. Like they were on the right path, man. I mean, the Force. I mean, Jedi, Sith. We don't know these kind of things, man. They take over your mind. We don't have to deal with that.
Like real talk, though. This is what happens when you don't discipline your kids early, right? You know what I mean? Timeout don't work. Like, you know what I mean? If she would have like smacked him on the ass a couple times, he might have turned out to be a decent kid.
Well, technically, that's Luke's fault, man. If you watch the movies,
No, because he did go to,
They sent him to Luke to get trained, and he felt he failed them, and so overall, that's why he's living on the island drinking blue milk and shit, man.
That's right. He was like there with the weird nun people things.
Yeah, man. He's just like, I feel horrible because like this happened. Well, yeah, that's what you get, man. Send kids with your uncles, see what happens.
What's the old saying? Spare the rod, spoil the child. Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody's like, Madison is so well behaved. I was like, yeah, I know.
But yeah, man, we're again coming back to it. Princess, Scruffy, what do they call him? Bounty hunter, coming across worlds for an epic adventure and living out their lives. True love, man.
Because he
On
won
and Leia.
the Millennium Falcon in a card game, didn't he?
What's that?
I said he won the Millennium Falcon in a card game, didn't he?
Yeah, they brought it back up when they brought Donald Glover back to play in the Solo movie itself.
Yeah.
If you want me to nerd out for a little while longer,
Hey, I'm with you on this shit. I'm with you.
no, Solo honestly got shit on it. I have no idea. It was like not the greatest actor to play Han Solo, but the movie was dope, man. Like,
No, we liked it. We saw it.
yeah. It's one of my tops. It beat all the prequels and sequels, in my opinion. I like Rogue One and Solo and the original 3. Those are my top 5. The other 6 are fuck them.
Not to nerd out anymore, but you know the Mandalorian is coming back out in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, but I heard there's gonna be like some things because the dude who plays him got pissed that he's not allowed to take his helmet off, so he's trying to hold out. I'm like, well, the fact that you don't take your helmet off, how can you hold out, man? I can get 20 guys to be you then, right?
Well, you're definitely dispensable. Calm yourself down. Quit being a diva. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, no, he wants some more face time. Yeah,
I'll take more money in my wallet. That's what I would take.
Plus, Baby Yoda owns his ass anyway, man. So you're second tier right now as it is. So don't try playing hardball, bro.
That's what I'm saying. All the memes are about Baby Yoda. We know who runs it.
Exactly, man.
It is what it is.
All right. We're getting into the top 3 now, man. Hit us with it.
Okie dokie. So the next one I'm going to go with, and it's another cult classic, in my opinion, is Love and Basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It has Sanaa Lathan and Omar Epps in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was Monica and Quincy, and it was a love story from like childhood. Remember?
Yeah, man. I've seen the movie.
Playground, and they thought she was a boy.
Yeah.
Took off her hat, crossed him over a couple of times, laid it up on him. And all through high school, they kept messing each other. Like, he would have a girlfriend, she would have a boyfriend, one would be single, one wouldn't be single. And then I think when they got together, it's like around college.
The iconic one-on-one scene, man. Like,
so the scene was toward the end. They had already graduated, and I think he was actually in the league playing for the Lakers in the movie. And she, their bedrooms, they were next door neighbors, and for whatever reason, they were back at home, and they would always meet up in the middle of the yard, and one would tap on the other one's window to get them to come out. So Quincy Omar Epps was actually supposed to be married in like 2 days or something like that. And she was like, I got something to tell you. I love you. Okay. And he was like, why are you going to lay this shit on me right before a wedding? You know what I'm saying? Who does this shit? You're selfish. So one of the hardest lines I've ever heard in a love story was like, let's play 21. I'll play you for your heart.
Right.
Whoa.
Right.
And so, so they ended up playing the game or whatever. He ended up falling in love with her. You know what I'm saying? Didn't get married. They ended up getting married. And remember, I told you he's playing for the Lakers. He tore his knee up. And she was actually playing in the WNBA. I think it was for like the Sparks or something like that. But they ended up having a kid and kind of living, happily ever after. So I thought that was a pretty dope story.
And you just needed an opportunity to bring up the Lakers, didn't you?
You know what? Legit,
you just had to slide that in there, man. That wasn't really, it had nothing to do with the love story.
Dude, I legit almost wore my Kobe jersey. I have a Gigi Mamba jersey also that I got not too long ago, and from the Mamba Academy. And then I was literally debating on wearing one of those on the show.
You should have, man.
Just to show my love for my Lakers. My world champion Lakers, by the way.
Exactly.
Anybody didn't hear me? World champion.
I know.
LA Lakers.
We're about to get Zoom bombed one more time. What's up, man?
I ate my starches and my sweet tea, but I'm still kind of hungry.
Okay. You want to get yourself another snack, man? Hold on.
Maybe a graham cracker.
All right, I'm feeling it. My Bulls are struggling, man, so I really can't ever say shit about the NBA ever, man. So,
You know what's the craziest shit?
What?
We were talking football earlier.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring up your Vikings on
Bring it up real quick because this is my gripe, my beef. Bears fans are
Yeah.
the worst fans, period. And I'm gonna explain to you why. I do not talk shit to Bears fans. I do not message Bears fans. I do not get on social media and talk shit about the Bears. But anytime my Vikings are not doing well, my shit is off the hook. Like I get texts, fucking memes, you know what I'm saying? Messages. Bears fans, I'm saying it, are the worst.
Of all sports, man.
And I'm done.
All sports. Okay.
I'm done. That's all I wanted to say. I didn't call
Let it be known.
Huh?
Let it be known. Put it on the record, man.
I'm just saying, when my Lakers won, same thing with Bulls fans. I didn't call people up and like, yeah, kiss my ass. We won, popping bottles. I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I was gracious and humble. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh no, Bulls fans still got at you because we still got Jordan, man. So they always, the memes are still out there. The LeBron is still.
We're not. That is a whole nother episode.
Right.
Go talk.
We own the beginning of the stay-at-home order when we had the Last Dance. You guys got it now, so I mean that's
okay.
kind of where it is.
All right.
We've been irrelevant for a long time, so I digress. But everybody's got to always have their moment. All right, so now I'm at my number 3. I'm gonna go. I know what my number 1 is. All right, so I got 2 here and about 10 to choose from. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention the iconic line that death cannot stop true love. And I'm going to take Wesley and Buttercup from Princess Bride.
What?
That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It was a love story. He was a poor farm boy and working on her farm, won her over. They fell in love. It went bad. He ended up staying on a pirate ship with the Dread Pirate Roberts, ended up overcoming that. The dude would say, unless I kill you in the morning. And so like every day, the dude didn't even know if he was going to live.
That was some crazy shit. I'll tell you on that one.
Kept going for
the situation
of the woman that he loved. And he eventually became the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Fought Andre the Giant,
I remember that.
Yeah, man, and finally got through. And at first, it's just to smoke her a little bit and be like, "Oh, okay, so the body doesn't go cold. You're about to get married." And then, he comes to find out that Prince Humperdinck, is basically forcing her to marry him, and they rekindle everything. But he almost went after her for spite, but also for love. But he held on all those years because of how hard it was. He then does really die. Comes back from the dead and can barely move his arms and legs and still fights for his one true love.
I forgot all about that.
Princess Buttercup, man. And he says it at the end when she's like, I thought you were dead. And he's like, death cannot stop true love. It can only delay it.
That's some pimp shit. I like that. I can feel that.
And it always stuck with it's that age, man. I was like Fred Savage's age when I saw that.
You just say Fred Savage.
He's reading him the story, and it's like, and then they go through like the whole adventure, the rats of unusual size, like go through the whole forest together. He's keeping him away from, it's a wonderful story. It's not a comedy. It's not a drama. It's not a love story. It's all of them.
That's what I was going to say. What category would you put that in? What genre would that fall into?
Because it's all of them, man. It's a love story. It's a comedy. It's a drama. It's got action. It's the powerhouse, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, I got a lot of great choices here, but I could not leave Wesley and Buttercup off.
Good shit. I salute that. That's pretty dope. Because when you said it, I was like, love story, because in my mind, if I remember correctly, there's so much other shit going on in that movie. That I didn't focus on.
That's what makes it a great movie. That's what makes it a great movie, because you got my man. Hello, my name's Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepared to die. Like you got him coming at him. You got Micro Machines, like, inconceivable coming at, like, and like I said, Andre the Giant, man, there's a lot going on. It's a multi-tiered movie, but ultimately it's a love story. And that's how they started, because, Fred Savage is like, is there going to be kissing? And like, he doesn't want to hear it. He's like, I think you're going to like this one. It's a love story, but it's got an action. And sure. And they get into it, and he ends up loving it at the end because he's won
That's
over
pretty
because
good.
of all the dynamics in him.
I salute that. That was a good one. That was a good pick. That
Thank
was
you.
a damn good pick.
Thank you, sir.
I think the next one is one of Wifey's picks.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just putting that out there to the world. This one's hers. I ain't have nothing to do with it. I'll let you go ahead.
Another Patrick Swayze movie.
Close.
Mike and Carol Brady, the Brady Bunch.
Okay, yeah.
Right? They got two families. They have this blended, they come together and have a blended family. They got the 6 kids
Mm-hmm.
and Alice.
And Alice. Yeah, don't forget Alice, man. You can't have 6 kids without an Alice.
I'll put you on the spot. Do you remember the kids' names?
We got Marcia, Jan, and Cindy.
Boom.
Greg, Peter, and Bobby.
Boom.
Was that all of them?
6.
Yeah, that was 6. Damn, that was good. Good shit.
And they're making a comeback because they've been on HGTV and they've redone the old Brady Bunch house on HGTV.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they're on the Food Network.
It was
Of course
Chopped.
Chopped. They were on Chopped.
They were on Chopped.
Of course they are.
So they also have a palette.
Don't forget Tiger the dog and Cousin Oliver, who came much later.
The
But
only
yeah.
one I really remember is didn't they go to Hawaii?
Yeah, man, the idol, the cursed idol.
Yeah.
Anytime it came on, and then Greg got in the surfing accident, and the spider fell on Peter, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, man, that was. I watched more than I have siblings that are 10 years older than me, man. I didn't get to.
So you were forced, so you didn't have a choice.
I didn't get to control the television, man. I watched more Brady Bunch than most people ever would.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, but every night, man, they did the stereotypical. They were in the bed with the bedside nightstands with the lamps, and they're reading. The kids would come in, come out. They had the Jack and Jill bathroom, But they always had like the life lesson. Every single episode had the life lesson from the parents. And they were like the standard couple. I mean, I think it probably was in some lyrics too if I looked it up, but like Mike and Jan Brady, I mean, that was it. Like, what do we, the Brady Bunch? Because that was like the aspire to, like, what do you think we are, the Brady Bunch? But yeah, because that was what you aspired to. But yeah, you have 3 kids on. Did we ever hear what happened before? Like, they both had 3 kids and came together, but why didn't we ever get the bootleg?
Why did they get divorced? Like, what dirt was there?
I want the bootleg episode where like their exes show up and be like,
just shit all over him. Like, he was no good. He drank all the time. He played cards.
I feel like his wife passed away.
Oh man, now you gotta.
I feel bad. Now I feel like an asshole.
I was like picturing him like losing his shirt on the ponies or something, coming in like, I just need a little something to get me through the weekend. Harold, come on.
You got $10 in your wallet.
And instead, you gotta, it probably was. It was an innocent time back then, so it probably was like they were both widowed and like found each other and that.
No, he was selling vacuums cross country. He had a couple other families, a couple other kids out there. That's the story I'm going with.
That makes it cute.
Royal Oats all over the United States.
Royal Oats.
Oh, my next pick's so tough. I got so many, man. I want to kind of do one for me.
Do that.
But number 1 is for me, but it's also iconic. I'm between 2. One is a little bit more obvious because it was a very popular show recently. I'll let you guys vote, actually.
Okay.
One of them is an extremely popular comedic show of recent genre.
Okay.
The other one is way more off the reservation, and was an extremely popular dramatic show from about a little bit over a decade ago. So which one do I go, comedy or drama?
Drama.
I thought you were going to say comedy. Really?
All right.
Drama it is.
So back in the day, there was this show called Lost that everybody was all about, man. And it was the pilot episode was one of the coolest things ever. The plane crashed and everybody's flying everywhere. And the dude from Party of Five's like walking around like, holy shit. And by the way, I'm a doctor. I'm going to fix everything. but it was a lot of mystery, science fiction, and all this stuff out going on there. And you know, everybody thinks Kate and Jack was the made couple from that, because that was like, you know, Evangeline Lilly, Matthew Fox, the main characters. Jin and Sun, the Asian couple from there, were a sweet love story. But my favorite, one of my favorite episodes I'd ever watched on TV was between Desmond, who was the man on the island that they found, who kept inputting the numbers, losing his mind, and Penny, who was the daughter of like the mogul. And it was called The Constant, and it escalated with this epic phone call, crossing all, bending space and time continuum, but like their love story to me, and that episode was one of the best episodes of like 60 minutes of television I had seen up to that point.
That's what's
And
up.
so Penn, who he called her Penn, her name was Penny. Desmond and
So
Penn
at the
to
end of
me,
that,
was one of the iconic couples of all time. So
am I remembering correctly? But the end of it, the way they ended was kind of bogus, wasn't it?
yeah,
It was
the
kinda like all
show, the
the
show
dream-
overall, man. Yeah, you can go ahead and spoil it because it's been long enough. But yeah, they ended up being like in a
It's kinda whack.
purgatory, and they were waiting for each other to die, and they all ended up in a church and shit. It was kind of bogus, but like the first so many seasons was so amazing that like overall the show was just fantastic. So yeah, man, I had a lot for me. There's a lot of I'm gonna get an honorable mention soon, but this one is one for me. Like that episode, I actually own all the seasons on DVD, only the last ones on Blu-ray to show you how old it was. Like the first few seasons are all DVD.
Damn.
Final season's Blu-ray. So that's how long it was ago, but it was something me and my wife watched together. We loved it, and like that episode, The Constant. If anybody just wants to watch one episode without even knowing any of the backstory of other things going on or whatever, it's still a beautiful standalone episode. So yeah, Lost, The Constant, Penny and Desmond, and again, you know, they named their son Charlie. We can go on to their whole love story aspect of it, but yeah. Charlie was the one that warned him, not Penny's boat. You know, for all you true lost heads out there, I see you. I'm with you. All right, man.
He said a lot of things.
Yeah.
So we pulling one off the bench since you bumped ours with Martin. So we're pulling one of ours off the bench. One of our honorable mentions, we're pulling into the frame.
Okay.
Mr.
For your
and
number
Mrs.
one?
Smith.
Well, actually, it wasn't supposed to be, but it got rearranged once we lost Martin.
So Martin was your number one, and I snatched Martin?
Martin was one of my heavy hitters.
Okay, yeah.
One of my heavy hitters. Go ahead.
So they have the perfect relationship where they're both like private. They're secret. They're into, what do they do?
They're like spies.
Spies, yeah. And then she realizes that she's trying to kill him. And then they have the big fight in the house, and they shoot up the whole house, and then end up having like mad sex everywhere. So crazy to where the neighbors have to come check on him.
Like
And-
every love story.
Yeah.
Mind you, she started giggling as soon as she said mad sex.
Right.
She said they tore up the house and had mad sex, and that put the biggest smile on her face.
Right.
So yeah, that's a power couple.
I mean, they had some powerful weapons. I mean, yeah.
Did you actually say who it was and I missed it, or what?
What do you mean?
I didn't actually hear you actually say who it was.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
There we go. All right.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Did it freeze up?
No, man, I don't know if it froze up or if you guys just didn't say it. I think you were setting it up. But yeah, man, I got some extra Nerf guns around here if you guys want to role play there, man.
Thank you.
Don't say that because she'd be all over it. Don't say that. She would definitely do that. She already chases me around the house anyway. Don't give her any weapons.
Okay. All right. No, you know, even though we didn't go real couples, and you know, if we would have gone real couples, iconic of all time, I mean, there's not much bigger one than Brangelina. I mean, right?
True.
So this was kind of like not only they're coming out like on camera, but I mean like in real life as well, and everybody was just chewing that up like nobody's business, man. So yeah, man, That movie, yeah. The only thing I would say is like, do you think, you know, by the end, after they go on their whole thing, they're all bloodied and bashed, and they finally were at each other and come back together. Do they stay together then?
Yes.
Are they still ride or die forever?
Yeah, I think at the end of it, if I'm not mistaken, they actually kind of are in cahoots after that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
But
then,
I mean, it was touch and go at the beginning, man. It was touch and go at the beginning. So, you
Yeah.
know, you
yeah,
think
but it was
they
cool because
lasted
like,
it
they had
out?
the house in the burbs, and like they both had their respective jobs outside of being spies.
Mm-hmm.
So when the shit hit the fan, it was hilarious because it was just like they were both spies, and so they knew each other's tactics. So he didn't want to eat the roast beef because he felt like she had poisoned it. So he got
Right, right, right.
he got the big steak knife instead of using the smaller knife.
Those
It was cracking after that. They, I mean,
Those
they
are serious problems, man. Those aren't just like a disagreement over folding laundry, dude. Like that's life or death.
understand something. If you make it through that, your ass is in love.
Okay. All right.
Healthy competition.
I'm sold. All right. My number one, again, I got to go to my youth. Every day after school, an hour on TBS, an hour on WGN, every Saturday morning. My man was sitting by the TV watching Saved by the Bell, and Zach and Kelly.
Ah, that was one of the honorable mentions. Yeah, yeah, I agree.
They were my guys. If it wasn't for a creepy ass restaurant manager, because you know the type, you're in college, quit fucking around with those high school girls. Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
Zach and Kelly were like the ultimate couple, man. I mean, that was what I mean, hey, I had a huge crush on Tiffany Amber Thiessen as it was.
I think
And my
everybody
hair's kind of getting back to my old Zach style as it used to be back in the 90s.
that shit. That shit. I like it. I
It's
like
good.
it.
I could use a little touch up, Marco, if you could help me
I
out.
got
But
the Clippers. Trust me, I got the Clippers. I'll bring them over.
I know you do. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't even think there were actually that many episodes when you finally were all said and done, but there was like 5 or 6 of them every day after school.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them religiously. Then on Saturdays, and then they went to the college years. Then they went to Hawaii and they did the movies and everything. And I even followed her into Beverly Hills 90210. Zach unfortunately took a while to get back onto the scene. But Zach and Kelly, I would be remiss if it wasn't my ultimate power couple of all time, because that was just it, man.
That's awesome.
You know, she didn't have enough money to go to the prom. He ended up making his own makeshift prom for her in the back tables, the picnic table. Like, I mean, it was he's always fighting Slater for her love. You know, she knew he was dirty. He pulled a lot of schemes, but at the end, she knew it was because he really loved her and she liked that side of him. And he just only had eyes for her. And he Lakers fan. So, you know, Kelly.
Can't be a bad person. Can't be a bad person. Like
He had a Magic Johnson poster on her door, man. Like
that's right. I forgot about that.
he had the light, like back when they used to have the 6-foot ones. That took
I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Zach and Kelly, that's my number one. That's how we do. Do you want to do your honorable mentions before I do mine, or do you have any left?
No, I was going to tell you the Saved by the Bell Diner.
The Max
actually opened up one somewhere in California. I was watching like E or something, and they were actually talking about it. And it's like a recreation of that diner.
Yeah, man.
Like,
they did a pop-up up in Chicago. I didn't make it up a time. They just did like a quick one and like let it go. It's like a theme thing, you know. I kind of wanted to go, but didn't get to go. But yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, if Zach can put up with Screech as a friend and battle with Slater, you know, he was kind of an asshole in real life, bit of a sociopath if you really want to break it down. If you go back and watch those episodes again, but it was still one of my favorite shows. Still is one of my favorite shows of all time because it is amazing. And Zach and Kelly is a love that stands the test of time. Do you want to do your honorable mentions first? Do you have any left, or do you want me to hit?
No, we had a couple. We had Kermit and Miss Piggy.
I always hated Miss Piggy, man. I couldn't.
She was the boss. She definitely wore the pants.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember when was it Muppets in like Manhattan?
Oh yeah.
We were in the park and Kermit had his little damn frog legs moving. They were doing their shit, and I was just like, that is a beautiful thing. And another one that I was thinking about was we watched Empire.
Cookie and Lucius.
Cookie and Lucius.
It's on my honorable.
Yeah,
That's
what?
on my honorable. That's on my honorable. Yeah, yeah.
17 years, came out, held him down after 17 years. This dude done had babies on her, then killed her damn cousin. You know what I'm saying? Then turned her kids against her. Taraji was still riding, you know, she was still riding for Lucius after that.
You
And
didn't
I'm
bring
like,
up the
if that
time
ain't
she
love,
served, man. How can you not bring up the time she served for him, man? Like,
17 years. What are you
yeah,
talking about?
yeah. No, Cookie and Lucius was on mine, definitely. I also had Noah and Allie from The Notebook, obviously. Didn't make my top list, but because there were some tumultuous times, but overall, the end, when you realize the whole movie is him just retelling her those stories because she is, you know, has dementia, like that part gets me, you know. I mean, like the whole movie is basically retelling their love story. He goes there all the time until he gets that glimmer of like recognition in her eye. Like that's gorgeous, man. I love that shit. I had the one I was bouncing back and forth between when you guys picked Penny and Desmond, which I have no shame of. Eleanor and Chidi, did you guys watch The Good Place?
I don't think I've seen that one.
The Good Place is a hilarious show. You should check it out sometime. It's a little like afterlife story. It stars Kristen Bell, Ted Danson. It's a hilarious show. And Eleanor and Chidi's the main couple in there. I won't spoil it for you, but they are great. And it might be the longest standing love story of all time because it goes to the afterlife, into afterlife, afterlife. So they hit it through. Homer and Marge was tough to leave off, man. But you know, she put up with a lot of his shit, but like, you know, there's very few moments of Homer, like, you know, living up to his end of the bargain. So I couldn't really go that. Bianca and Adonis from Creed series, because I thought someone might bring up Rocky and Adrian, because honestly, that relationship wasn't as cool as everybody likes to claim it. You know, he yelled for her after he won and stuff, but you can't win, Rocky. Like, I mean, she in the whole.
He
like,
did shit on her when she said that. She shit on him.
that hit me hard. Like, Adrian, what the fuck's wrong with you, man? Like, who would tell him? Like, he's in training. Like, what's your problem?
Yeah.
But, you know, so I'm not going to go hard on Adrian, but that's not the great love story. Creed, the original Creed, is the greatest sports movie in the last 20 years. I will stand by that. Number 2 is not as great, but when she sings his intro music, I may have taken a long lunch at work that day to go see it in the theater when it came out. And when she sang his interest music, man, like I actually got emotional.
That was dope.
And I'm like, Drago, you're done, man. Like, I mean, we all knew he was going to be anyway, because that's the way the formula goes. But like you fucked up, man. Like she's coming down the aisle with the mic, like, and that whole song and him behind her, like in the full like training down in Mexico, like, and is in Michael B. Jordan's extra jacked mode. Like, I'm just like, oh man, it's all over with now. He's got his woman leading him there. Like, yeah, man. Yeah. Bianca and Adonis.
I got a question about that. So she was deaf, right?
I think she had, I don't know if it was 100%. I remember she had the cochlear implant that helped. Their kid ended up being.
It was, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think she had the cochlear implant, which helped, which she could plug or unplug based on the situation. So yeah, like, yeah. So I mean, it kind of helped and didn't help with their music career, because like, so she could kind of technically check in or check out based if she wanted to have, you know, the attachment there. I had Andy and April from Parks and Recreation. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show, but those are my guys. They fucked around all the time.
They did.
And then they would do like role play as like Burt Macklin and Janet Snakehole. And they were like, you know, that shit kills me every time, man. They basically live like kids their whole life. You can't do that.
That's a quality ass show. That's a quality ass show.
Yeah, I mean, there was some great ones. There was a lot of great relationships in that one, but that one stuck out with me. And again, Jeremy Gray and Gloria Cleary from Wedding Crashers. I'm just a huge Vince Vaughn fan, and he found his freak, and they, you know, you think it's gonna work. That's about it I'm gonna give a really, really, really random. Nobody's gonna pick up this goddamn reference from anybody. But if you ever watch Black Mirror on Netflix,
Is
look
I
into
can't
it.
see.
It's kind of like a modern day Twilight Zone based on technology. There's an episode called San Junipero. Yorkie and Kelly. That's a beautiful story, man. I'm just gonna leave it there. You guys can go
We'll have to
research it.
check that out.
That's a little message from your Uncle Ryan, man. Just everybody go
Gotcha,
look.
Chief.
San Junipero, Black Mirror. I don't remember if it's season 2 or 3. Watch that episode. It's gorgeous, man. So that's what I got, man.
How did like Al Bundy and Peg Bundy was some of the realest shit that was ever created into a sitcom. And I thought back and forth about actually putting it in because the guy, he's selling shoes now. Okay.
Yep.
His wife Peg sits around all day, smokes cigarettes, and sprays Aquanet in her fucking hair. Okay.
Right.
Talk shit to him.
Yep.
The oldest daughter is, you know what she is. Bud has been eating paint chips since birth. You know what I'm saying? And Al's only shining moment was those 4 touchdowns at Polk High. Like, if that is not a love story that has endurance, has many layers, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I would have allowed it, man. I would have allowed it. You kind of brought it up in our early text messages coming up with the thing, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna rip this to shreds.
You can't.
There isn't much back and forth, but like sometimes at the end of the episode, he'd sit back on his couch and he'd say something, and she'd always go like, "Oh, Al," like.
So that's
yeah, like he you knew they did love each other, man. Despite like, I mean, the dude's been like scraping bunions all day, man. Like it's not like a high-end women's shoe store.
No, they was orthopedic shit.
Yeah. He's staring at some corns a lot, man. Like old, therapeutic, like supportive, whatever, man. The dude's been through a lot of shit, man. So and how they both, she apparently doesn't do anything. So how they both live on a shoe salesman's salary in its own is a minor miracle. But you know, all he wants is hand in his pants and to watch a little TV. And she does her thing and prances around. But at the end, you know, he'll always eventually say something kind of affectionate. And then you get that like little piece where you're like, okay, now you know why they're together. And
I mean, it
like,
may not
oh, wow.
Right. It might not have been ideal, but
Right.
they stuck the shit out. Through all the ups and downs, all the bullshit, they were still a married couple at the end of the show.
And again, it's like legendary, iconic power couples is what we're going for. We're not saying the most loving or the most, but I mean, you know, maybe it's just our demographic, but everybody knew Peggy and Al, man. Like I've seen the costumes so many times. I've you know, everybody knew. Again, that was on that blockbuster Fox lineup we were talking about with like Martin.
Fox killed it back then.
They did.
And during the 90s and early 2000s, Fox was the channel to watch.
Right.
And the funny thing about talking about Married with Children, no bullshit. The other day I was this close to buying me a Polka t-shirt. I'm not joking. Real talk. I was that close to pushing the button to get me a Polka t-shirt.
Hey man, I think it would play because I think it was a blue. Is it blue with the white?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I remember, but like, yeah, man, like the people that know, and the people that don't. So I kind of dig those older reference shirts, man. You should pull that, man.
I'm just saying, anybody that's cool,
right,
about our age, knows about Polk Eye. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm about to resurrect Polk Eye. I'm telling you. You know what? After we get done with this shit, I'm getting on my phone and I'm getting my Polk Eye t-shirt. That's what I'm doing.
All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. I appreciate the Miltons for joining me today. I'm gonna have you on again, my friends, and I can't wait to see you soon. We still got maybe about a week or so of some decent weather, so you guys come by and have a couple of these with me and my wife.
We need to.
Sounds good.
I know I'm thirsty, man. I haven't seen you guys take a sip yet.
No, I'm about to go make me a mule here in a minute. I was just trying to be, a little polite on TV, and I turned on my copper mug. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go get it.
Guys.
We went to Porky's.
What?
And our Sunday, you know, we always go every Sunday we go to Porky's and we get the half chicken, and it's
Mhm.
like less than $6. You get the fries, you get the lemon shake up.
I'm
So
with you. Tips?
you already had lunch. Time to have a little drink.
No tips?
You know what? I usually get tips, but I'm trying to work on some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
I'm trying to go the chicken route and be good.
Okay. I'm with you.
The last month and a half, I've been chicken.
All right, I'm with you. Would not, since we're going all local now, you know, hey, support your local businesses, and most people that watch this are my friends are local anyway. So the turkey tips at Wooden Hog, dude.
Fire.
Delicious.
Yes.
Fire.
Let's do that. All right, man. I love you guys. I'm gonna stop
Love you
recording.
too, bro.
Me too.